Purposefully, when you arrive at North Rim Lodge, your view of the canyon is blocked until you enter the building. You go through the lobby where you're confronted by an inspiring view through the oversized windows of the sunroom, dining room, and the porch with a huge outdoor fireplace. The original North Rim Lodge was built by the Union Pacific Railroad in a Spanish style with 2 stories and a second-floor observation deck. The original lodge burned in 1932, and a new lodge with a single floor, pitched roofs to better deal with snowfall, and much of the original stonework reopened in 1937. All but 2 of the original cabins survived the fire, and it's changed little since 1937 and is considered to be one of the most intact rustic lodges in the national park system. Unlike the South Rim lodges, the North Rim sits right on the rim and was designed to suck visitors through the lobby to the sunroom that features spectacular views of the canyon. The dining room also provides the best views of any restaurant at Grand Canyon. Designed by Gilbert Stanley Underwood and opening in 1928 with 20 deluxe cabins, now the Western cabins, and 100 standard cabins. A few additional cabins were built over the years. It was designed to have a separate lodge building and cabin accommodations. Unlike South Rim, there was no train to the North Rim. Originally, visitors got off the train 100 miles away in Cedar City, Utah, and took buses to the lodge where they were greeted by the staff singing at the front of the lodge. A motel was added to the room count, probably in the late 60s or early 70s. The rooms at the motel are tight with only a shower stall, but they're functional. Currently, there are 219 rooms, and the facility earns gross revenues of $13 million a year, according to the National Park Service. There are 4 room types available at the lodge. First, formerly known as the deluxe cabins, the Western cabins are the most desirable. They feature a gas fireplace, heater, 2 queen beds, a bathtub, which is great for soaking after a rim-to-rim hike, plus a pleasant porch for relaxing in the evenings. And as a bit of foreshadowing, the Western cabins also have the best rodent proofing of any of the rooms at the lodge. Second, for less than half the price of the Western cabins, the motel rooms are the least expensive. They don't have the historic provenance of the cabins, and these are some of the smallest motel rooms I've ever seen, but they have the basics: 1 queen bed, a refrigerator, and a tiny bathroom with a shower stall. Most people find the rooms small, dusty, and disappointing, but they get the job done and they don't have the same level of rodent problems as the Frontier and Pioneer cabins. This is a quick view in a room that housekeeping was cleaning, so my apologies for its unkempt state. Third, moving up in price a small bit, are the Frontier cabins. These are duplex units with basic accommodation. They can be quite quaint, but are loud, and sometimes it seems your neighbors are in the same room as you. Plus, many have rodent problems. Once in a Frontier cabin, a horde of rodents ruined my trail food. Unable to replace the food early in the morning, I had to cancel my hike, and that's led me to only stay in the Western cabins that were properly rodent-proofed by a prior operator. And I'm not talking about a single mouse in a corner. These were infested, including entry of a larger animal, likely a ring-tailed cat. If you read room reviews, you will find problems with rodents are a frequent complaint. Finally are the Pioneer cabins. These are slightly larger than the Frontier cabins, but have the same construction and issues. I've only stayed in a Pioneer cabin once and had no major issues, but again, reviewers complain of the same problems as the Frontier cabins. The dining options at North Rim Lodge have their own special circle in Hades. There's only 1 sit-down restaurant and reservations are necessary. Many guests are unaware of this and end up crowding around the host's desk hoping for cancellations. They're not missing much. The dining room has a better view of the canyon than any other restaurant at Grand Canyon, but the positive comments end there. The prices are the same as the El Tovar dining room on South Rim, but the quality is abysmal. For dishes costing $44, you're handed a paper menu. On one night, the only silverware we had was a salad fork and a soup spoon. They said the dishwasher was broken. The food was nothing short of atrocious, overpriced, and difficult to eat. The meal would be disappointing if it were served at a Denny's. The only meal that may be worthwhile is the breakfast buffet, a mediocre spread for $20, including drink. The only other dining option is the deli, which has no real seating area and was similarly panned by the people who ate there. If you hike to North Rim, you're stuck eating at the lodge. If you drive, you'll be better served by bringing your own food. By now, you can tell that I'm not a fan of the operation of the North Rim Lodge. The operator, Aramark, is in its second year of running the lodge, and the problems are numerous, from rodents in the rooms to lines at check-in. Rather than me listing my many concerns, there are plenty of accounts online. I'll give you just one example from my visit this year. They had no hand soap at the entire facility. Now, this sounds like a mere inconvenience, but imagine eating at a restaurant where the food preparation staff do not wash their hands after using the restroom. You risk getting sick, and that's what happened to me this year. I got sick after a meal in the dining room and had to cancel my planned rim-to-rim hike due to intestinal distress. Whether this was caused by poor hygiene or poor food preparation, I don't know, but it was an inglorious end to a planned epic hike. Compounding these problems is that the Park Service keeps approving increases in the room rates. Currently, the cheapest motel rooms are about $200 a night with tax, and the most expensive Western View cabins are $522. Last year, the standard Western cabin rented for $256. This year, it's increased to $388, a more than 50% increase in 1 year. And despite Aramark's horrible administration of the North Rim Lodge, this year the Park Service gave them a 15-year contract to operate the lodge. So, nearing the end, here's my take on the good and the bad. First, the good. It has a spectacular location. It's the only game in town. There are the historic buildings, and especially the Western cabins. They're just darned cute. It's slower and quieter than the South Rim, and the visitors are more interesting and adventurous. Now, the bad. They have dysfunctional management. There's poor maintenance, and some of the rooms have rodents. The rooms are loud. Sometimes it's like your neighbors are in the room with you. They have very high prices that keep on increasing. There's only one sit-down dining option that requires reservations and serves improperly prepared food. And finally, it's a long way to travel for often disappointing accommodations. So in conclusion, the North Rim Lodge is an interesting historical building in a spectacular location that's currently badly managed. There are some signs that Aramark is trying to remedy its problems, but so far, they've been unsuccessful. The North Rim Lodge is still a key element of my rim-to-rim-to-rim hikes. I stay there overnight before making my return hike, and I have reservations again in the autumn. Hopefully, they'll improve their operation of the lodge by then, because if properly operated, it could be a truly magical place. I hope this information helps prepare you for your visit to North Rim and that you have the best visit possible. Thank you for watching.